Apparently, we're waiting on one player to get here, still. See if I can't figure out what the story is. While he's doing that, I'm working on stuff, so it's not like it's the biggest deal, but still, just waiting on him to get here. Delete that guy. Alright, let's keep working on this stuff while we wait. Looks like one of the players is here and active, Beez. Still waiting to hear from Keno. I guess in the meantime, we'll switch to the Legion stream view. We'll turn this down a touch. And we're still waiting. Alright, so we can at least finish up some of the edits that I was doing for this. Do that. Then we gotta wait for the rest of the information to come in. Got a little bit of a delay still. We'll find out what's going on and keep going when we can. In the meantime, there's things I can work on. Yep, got a message. Alright, seems like the other player is finally here, so they're getting all set up. You say it's the true group of death, but is it? Every group is a group of death for the people in it, I suppose. I believe there is no true group of death. There is only everyone against everyone in their group, and then we go, I don't know. Get rid of all this stuff. Alright, keep the chat, because the chat's the important part. We'll wait for the players to load in. Still, eventually they should pop up. I'm currently working on updating some badges for my Twitch stream. Copy you over here to new layer. I probably want to have the player names up. That way I can see. So this map was fixed, thankfully. Looks like they took out the bunker of death over here, so that does help. You can see that it is no longer there, no longer a problem. It's now just hills instead of a bunker under the hills. So it does change the terrain ever so slightly, but not enough to make a big deal. So the double hill in the top middle of the map used to have a 40k bunker in it. And when viewed close up would cause a crash. There you go. Alright, back to editing these images. Scale this guy. And let's move them properly. There we go. Alright, now I need to mess with the image. Let's go down to 76. Oh, it's 72. My bad. So we're still waiting on Kenotooth to get in here. He should be here any minute. Because they said that he had logged on, so... I would imagine he should be here shortly. So Beez is going to be red. They're from a previous game. I just haven't edited them because it's all a singular file that I have to edit to do so. So I will update them when I can see them. And there we go. Finally, we have the other player. Alright, so now that they're both in here, go ahead and start editing some things. So I actually need to switch the colors of the players. So Beez, turns out, is going to be red. And Kenotooth is going to be blue. Alright, so I'll get to the lists when they start deploying, but in the meantime, let's take a look. We got a... Ooh, I didn't get to see the point values, but that's fine. Oh, we have a double land speeder list. Wow. Interesting. Followed by a just giant bunch of troops. Cool, cool. So here's going to be our map layout. We got intercept, vaporators, and recover the supplies, major offensive, battle lines, disarray, rapid, minefields, and clear conditions. So we'll see what the players decide to do. I will have this ready to change as they pick, and then I will update the lists as we go. So it looks like they eliminated the rapid reinforcements. They're debating. He's like, I don't know what to pick. I've been there so many times myself. I'll actually move my mic a lot closer, so that way it sounds a little better. And there we go. That'll be nice and close. Hopefully not too loud, but that'll be a lot clearer. Looks like they're debating still as to what map type they want. Oh, wow. They decided to go with it as is. Interesting. So transmission stays the same. This changes to major offensive. And then this becomes minefields. Yeah, these lists are going to be very, very interesting. Alright, so as they get set up here, I will sit above it as I edit their information. Alright, so we'll start with, since I'm over Beez, we'll start with Beez's list. Alright, so he is using Veers with improvised orders. I'm having to type this over my microphone because I moved my microphone right in front of the keyboard, so you'll have to forgive me. Next, he is using what looks like a stormtrooper unit with DLT and officer. Followed by, not Bosk, followed by another, what looks like storm set with Comtech. Really interesting choice. DLT and Comms Relay. So he's really going to operate almost as two different fronts. This whole group here, in theory, will act almost as if it's a so if he's giving him comms relay, he's almost going to run Veers in a different area, and then have this stormtrooper squad act almost as though they're going to be giving out orders through them to other squads. So it's going to be interesting how he's going to be able to play that, because that's going to allow him to issue orders as though he's a commander, provided that he still has range to Veers. So he can just extend Veers' range by another 1 or 2 band effectively. So that is interesting. Alright, so let's eliminate this guy right here. And this is going to be another storm set, this time with extra TK and a DLT, followed by 3 more DLT units. So that was interesting. We'll eliminate the TK. And then it looks as though he has 2 snipers after that. The interface I'm working with is not the best, mind you, so I do apologize if I'm moving a little quickly with this. There we go. And then points scored, he will have none currently. Alright, that is a... Now we need to modify this, because the stores of the Comtech and everything take up way too many lines. So let's see if we can't do this. There we go, much better. Expand it a bit. Yeah, maybe not that much. We'll do it that much. There we go. Align that. So it looks like they've placed all their transmission points, which that means they're going to score on rounds 2 and 4, And then at the final round as well, they'll gain 2 points as opposed to 1 point. So it looks like they placed one here in the shadow of the tower, one straight up in the middle, and then, well, these are obviously marked points that have to be this way. And then finally, another point over here right next to the woods. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Sir Francis. I appreciate it. Also, hey, Grand Admiral Thrawn, nice to see you. I've been busy typing, so you have to forgive me. Alright, so, now that we got the Empire out of the way, we'll watch them deploy as I type up this list for the Rebels. I wish I could get these in advance, then I wouldn't have to type them as we go, but it's not a big deal. We'll make it work. Alright. So, we got Leia, and she has Esteemed. Then we have what looks like... Ooh, really? Without a Z6, okay. Troopers with an extra trooper. We have troopers again with what looks like a Z6. 3 of those. So I'll just copy and paste that. Alright, then we have fleets with shotgun. Then we have 2 sets of snipers. Nothing too crazy here. And then the crazy sauce, we have 2 land speeders, 2 of them, mind you, for some hilarious reason. Probably saw my game with the double tanks and was like, that sounds like a crazy idea. Why don't we do that? Both have the jockey. The jockey, I believe, dodges on... Yeah, he gains cover 1 when defending against range attacks. That's pretty cool. Then he has the rocket gunner, which gives him range 2 to 4 rainbow with impact 2. And then, of course, we have the medium blaster on top of it, which is 4 black, range 1 to 3. It's fixed to the front, whereas the jockey is fire all around. So that's cool. Rocket, I can spell. We actually are going to have to new line this one. And so, Landspeeder is going to be a very interesting choice. I'm going to copy and paste this guy. And there we go. Done. Alright, there's our lists. There's our players. Now we just have to wait for them to set up. So, the land speeders themselves are actually kind of funny because they come with Arsenal 3, so everyone in this thing is going to fire. They all have Surge to hit. They do Surge to defend on their white defense dice. They have 6 hit points each, which is not terrible. Their light transport's open, so they can transport a unit. So that can be pretty useful depending on how fast they move. They have move 2. They have armor 2, so they can cancel up to 2 hits. So they're more played as ATST or ATRTs than they play like the occupier tank. So that's interesting. Move this back a slight bit and turn down my gain. Alright. And yeah, they can get a lot of stuff in here. Those are going to be very interesting. So in theory, at range 2, which is going to be their sweet spot because of the rocket gunner, so they at 3 is going to be a sweet spot to get 2 weapons in. 2 is going to be the sweet spot to get all 3 weapons in. You'll see a pool of rainbow, 4 black, and 2 white. So a total of 1 red, 5 black, and 3 white with surge to hits. That is not terrible at all. that's going to be pretty devastating and can easily wipe out trooper units. So it's going to be interesting, and here we go with a quick scout deploy. It's going to be interesting because what you're going to see is a lot of... I'll turn down my gain a little more. Where's my gain button? Yeah, because what you're going to see is the problem that a lot of people have been facing recently, and that is the fact that you're seeing gigantic dice pools coming out of a singular model or singular unit, able to just completely eliminate an entire activation. So unlike the snipers, which is high point or low point, high kill probability, you're seeing high point, high kill probability with, instead of snipers being able to eliminate single units, you see single units able to wipe entire squads. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see this. And yes, I think that this map might make it a little more difficult to use vehicles, but that said, look how much of it is actually open to vehicles. They can skip over the barricades, no problem. They can't jump over these rocks. They can't go through these trees without taking a test. So there's some options there. It's going to be interesting for sure. Alright, as we zoom around, we see that the majority of the stormtroopers have deployed behind the generator. Looks like they're going to make a major push for this token here, whereas it looks like this squad is getting prepped to make a push up to this barricade here, and in theory take on anything that comes at it. Now this land speeder is set up to go ahead and kind of provide covering fire down this lane as well as this lane. Now the interesting thing, and I didn't see it, is these guys do have no mandatory moves. It has armor, which cancels hits, arsenal, which means it can fire certain things, cover, which negates hits, and then you have light transport, and then speeder 1 saying it ignore... Oh, no, there we go. When you activate, it must perform a compulsory move. Okay, it is part of speeder. Cool. Alright, so they do have a compulsory move, which for these things, to be fair, it might just want to move and aim fire every single turn. There might not be any reason not to, however, every single one of the stormtrooper units has a DLT. Oh, and there's 3 snipers. I didn't get the 3rd sniper on this list. Yeah, 3 snipers, so 10 total. A short 1. Alright, there we go. That looks a little better. Yeah, I would imagine that with these guys being forced to move, their 1 move, which is only a 2, so their compulsory is not terrible. And of course they're able to ignore height 1, so their compulsory move will get them over every single piece of terrain in the map that is not a building. Oh wait, will it? This building is height 1. So based on that, they can clear every building except for this building, and I believe this building is also height 2. Yeah, so these 2 buildings prevent it from moving, these 2 trees prevent it, but everything else, as long as they can clear it, I believe the generator is height 2. Okay, so yeah, the tower, the mechanic's house, and the generator are the only things that will block the land speeder from making a move, other than these 2 giant redwood trees that are hollow. Oh, and Grand Admiral Thrawn, at some point you should see a new icon pop up for the loyalty badge. I have changed it to be something new and interesting, because World of Tanks is not relevant to me anymore. Did I update this guy? Did I complete updating this guy? I forget. Or was I? Yes, I already completed it. Alright, so let's go ahead and upload these guys. And in theory, these icons should apply at some point. More applicable to me and my interests, we'll put it that way. Alright, so let's pull back up this guy while we wait. So the double land speeders are basically covering these lanes. The only thing that really has to have a front arc is the blaster that is on it. And even that is not that big of a deal. Oh, you can get an additional guy on the back. Okay, so you can get an additional guy. So it looks like they have this line of sight here. This one has the line here, as well as the line here. You have the snipers already set up on the hill. He moved forward as part of his deploy. So he's going to immediately see quite a few things right off the get-go. He's going to see those whole group of stormtroopers there. Doesn't really have much else at the moment. He can currently see anything that's going to be near the objective token there, and this objective token here. The land speeders here, like I said, going to have good lines of sight there. Good lines of sight here. The only thing that's saving these stormtroopers right now is this rock formation. Leia is going behind these groups of rebel troopers. The fleets are over here. Looks like they're going to make... Looks like there's going to be two major pushes going for the center point. We have the three different groups of stormtroopers going probably to this barricade, and then also occupy the rock and the tree. And then you have over here, you have the speeder, you have the troopers and the fleets, as well as these troopers. I imagine these troopers will try and climb the hill to get shots down, whereas these troopers are going to attempt to maybe make it behind the cover and barricade, and same thing with the fleets, probably try and get in this scrum here. Now if we go back over here, it looks like the scouts have deployed two of them both safely out of cover, whereas Veers is deploying over here so that his maximum firepower can go off. He looks like he's going to get a straight shot right at that land speeder if he wants to take it. So these two snipers are going to have to probably work their way around over this way, or work their way back around this direction, depending on how everybody deploys. Now, my personal choice was I liked deploying one of the snipers up here, back in my game against Grand Admiral Thrawn, and then also another sniper here. Yes, you are slightly exposed, and maybe the deployments here are going to not be great for it. Oh look, he does have Bosk. Where is Bosk in this list? Am I just not seeing it? Oh! He has 11 units. That's why I couldn't see him. Okay then, that changes things. We need to edit his list again. How did I not see that? Alright, so after Veers, we have Bosk with Hunter and Recon. And that is actually huge. Bosk is fantastic at eliminating other trooper units. Not so much against heroes or vehicles. He can, but I think his main goal is to hit trooper units, deal that suppressive damage, and eliminate one guarantee, and then anything else he can get is great. So with his expert climber unhindered and everything else, he's able to easily scaffold or climb pretty much anything he wants and get around this board without any issue. Whereas I believe Thrawn and myself played him slightly wrong. He could just jump through these barricades as if they don't exist. Now, I would imagine as though Leia is going to be the bounty. Since there is no other targets to put a bounty on, it would only make sense for her to be the bounty. Zoom back around. So let's see where they put the mines. So there is a mine here. It looks like it's going to be able to cover this objective as well as the barricade and anything coming through this lane. So there's a pretty nice deploy there. This mine here is going to catch anybody who's going to come up and try and get behind this barricade and this rock. And it looks as though it might catch anybody as soon as they leave the deployment zone. And then we have... Ooh, he could almost deploy immediately onto an objective based on his deployment. That's interesting, whereas he would not be able to as easily. So, with that said, there is a mine right here. It looks like it's going to catch anybody that's going to come around. I don't know if this was a good placement. It might have been a forced placement because there's no other option. It looks like it'll catch anybody who comes within contact of the token on the outer edge, but as long as he sticks someone here on the inner edge, he should be good. Alright, so the first card's coming out. I would imagine it's going to be bombardment on bombardment. Yes, so we got coordinated bombardment followed by maximum firepower. They're going to have to roll off and see who gets it. Blue gets to keep it. Alright, so looks like the rebels are going to be doing their bombardment first. With Leia back here, that's going to easily give the maximum firepower a weaker hit because they're going to put a dodge. Well, depends on what she does. Personally, I would do the take cover. Not sure who I'd put it on, but I'd put it on some targets. And I'd do an aim. Well, ooh. Did he just draw from the pile? I think he did. Interesting. So he's going to aim and fire. It looks like he's going to fire at potentially the squads directly in front of him. Interesting, he decided to go from the pile and save Leia for later after things start to move out and maybe have better targets as they disperse a little more and present themselves, especially the opposing snipers, because the opposing snipers are currently hidden very well behind here and behind here. So perhaps she's going to wait and go maybe last and attempt to hit some things as they've spread out and become an easier target. Since she is Spotter 2, or not Spotter 2, Sharpshooter 2, she effectively ignores cover anyway. So, Sniper's taking a shot, looks like they get a singular hit. With the aim, he'll re-roll. And, yeah, keeps it as a singular hit against the light blue team. That singular hit is ignored because of the light cover. Which does not make sense because it should ignore that anyway. So he should have lost a singular trooper because of the high velocity and the sharpshooter on a sniper. Now, it is not my game to call. I'm not a judge, so I can't tell them differently. However, if a judge is in chat and tells me to, I can tell them that they should have lost a trooper. However, currently as it sits, there was no trooper to lose. So, Veers is going to do Spotter. I'm not sure what he's... Oh, he's going to remove their suppression because they're within range 2. He's going to give the Spotter to one of the snipers. To both of the snipers. And then he himself... Is he going to take an aim on himself and fire? Or is he going to move and fire? I guess we'll find out. Nope, looks like he's taking an aim on himself. And I believe he's going to target that speeder. He would alternatively have the commander here, but yes, he's going after the speeder, as I thought. So we're going to see 4 reds coming out. There should be 0 cover, so he's going to have cover 2 to negate some of these. I'm not sure why he re-rolled all those hits. He should have kept it, and it would have been 2 hits. Either way, takes a singular wound. He surges to crit, so he was looking for... I suppose he kept the crit and wanted to re-roll the hits to see if he can get another crit, because at worst he would be negating 2 of those hits anyway. So, probably fishing for crits to try and guarantee the damage because of cover 2, thanks to the jockey and the built-in cover 1. 2 of those hits were going to be negated anyway. Now that said, I would have likely kept it, because it would have been 2 hits. But armor would have... Oh yeah, no, sorry, armor would have negated one of those hits, so he needed crits anyway. So yeah, fishing for the crits does make sense in that circumstance. Alright, so the blue troopers are going to go ahead and move forward. They're going to take a double move to likely try and get cover behind this redwood tree from the onslaught of the Imperials, who I do not believe currently would have anyone who can see them. Now, where did he place Bosk? Way back here. Okay. So never mind, Bosk had originally deployed over here, but it looks like that is not the case anymore. So it looks as though the rebel troopers are currently going to go and threaten the side of the bay, or the side of the map here. Whereas there's only a set of snipers over here, and they're going to get eliminated pretty quickly where they're currently at. So they will likely have to move likely away from these guys, maybe just up and around here, so as to get shots in on different areas. Maybe to counter the other sniper up there on the hill, he could easily position one here and take a shot and take out that sniper. Now, activating the trooper unit, they're going to But looks like loop around and probably get behind the barricade. We'll see what he does. Oh, he had to move it out of the way. So yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to do a full move, get everyone behind the barricade to take advantage of the hard cover, at least from particular angles. Now here, he has some options. His range is going to get him nothing. So where he's currently at, he might either take a dodge or he might move again. I would suspect he's going to move him here and then likely take a dodge. Or perhaps a standby, but a standby wouldn't make sense because they'd have to get within range 2. Yep, and takes a dodge. Perfect. Alright, so that concludes the Stormtrooper deployment. Back to the Rebel side of things. It looks as though we're going to have to draw from the pool or take Leia. It looks like he's going to draw from the pool. And he gets a trooper unit with that pole. So, he is going to put it on the brown troopers here on the hill. Oh no, changing his mind, going with the rebel troopers over behind the hill. Changing his mind again. Going with the gray troopers over here, behind the guard or the control tower. Looks like he's going to move them up along it. Now, will he be within range 1? He is within range 1 of the mine, so that will go off. Looks like he's going to position himself just behind it and try and set it off with a singular trooper. At least that would be the effective way to try and negate it. Put a single trooper ahead of it, let it detonate on that singular trooper, and then take a second move after that. Alternatively, he could have taken a dodge here and then moved within range to try and detonate it. He's leaving this one trooper behind. So he is actually bringing up his entire unit, which will then be exposed to this mine. So he did not try to use a singular unit to detonate it. Instead, he's going to take the risk. With it exploding once, he will take 2 hits, or will get 2 hits against him, or 2 shots, I suppose, red and black. Firing off. You see 2 hits, it's going to be in the open, so there'll be 2 trooper saves based on this, as opposed to 1. And they surge to protect 1, lose 1. So, not a terrible result, but that could have been more effective had he put a singular unit out there. Not risking 2 units, only risking 1 that way. But he does take cover behind the barricade, and now has a suppression, so it will work out for him. Now, red player draws a singular trooper unit. Probably deciding who to activate first. He does have quite a few choices here with his umpteen dozen stormtroopers. Looks like he's going to activate either the green or the red squadrons and probably try and loop them around. With his initial deployment, it looks like he was tempted to bring them over here into the center, but it looks as though he's going to move them up. On second thought, he is going to move them that way. Move them around into the center behind the redwood tree. Instead, he deactivated it, so maybe he's thinking someone else. Yeah, it looks like he's going to activate the purple squadron at this point in time. Looks like they are debating a few things real quick before committing. Still unsure of where to go with his token. Looks like he is going to go back with the green unit and move them the way that he likely originally intended them to go, which is around towards the first objective marker here and with the potential to strike the second objective marker if needed. So he's going to move him and try and get him behind cover of the tree, but since the sniper up on the hill already did his attack, he's likely safe from any retaliation at this point in time. The only thing that can retaliate would be the speeder. Now, the other sniper does exist. The other sniper is deployed way over here, so any shots that are going to come in are likely going to come... Oh, he would have the 2 squads just through light cover based on this. So he does have some options with this sniper unit to immediately aim and fire. at almost anything over in this area here. So plenty of options. Alright, so we're going to drop the Final Fantasy music and resume this music. Do love me some Final Fantasy though. So, looks as though Leia is activating. Now that some units have spread out, she's going to go ahead and charge forward. And she will bombard, taking an aim and then bombarding. So from her current position, she has every single choice available to her. Whether it be the troopers in the woods or the troopers behind the barricades, it doesn't matter. She will ignore their cover. So first bombardment is going against what looks like the orange squad, with 2 hits, negating any cover. Looks like we lost 2 troopers with that. Goodbye, 2 stormtroopers. They're going to suffer a suppression. And that was from the Comtech group. So hitting the extended range ability. Extended command range there. Another 2 hits coming in, because Leia surges to hit on the blue troopers. This time they both save, only taking a suppression, which is fantastic. Don't have to worry too much about getting another trooper unit reduced. And then the final bombardment going against the purple group. Looks as though another 2 hits. Rolling to save, losing 2 more. So the bombardment taking out 4 troopers total, dishing out 3 suppression. The initial offering is actually rather good on a bunch of troopers that have not yet activated. Drawing a trooper token, it looks as though we're going to see, it's going to have to be one of these center squads that have been hit by the bombardment. Oh no, still has red team. I'm sorry, I forgot about the red team. Red team will be able to remove a suppression, likely from either blue or orange, taking it from blue, the squad that took no casualties. They're going to go ahead and move. What looks like, again, to try and take cover behind the barricade and furthering their movement towards the objective marker here. However, he's currently putting himself out here in the open, well, not necessarily the open, but within threat range of the land speeder. With the second land speeder unlikely to do anything this turn unless it double moves and fires. Alright, so a little bit of overlap, I believe, but not the biggest problem in the world. So taking a dodge on these troopers. Looks like it is going to be another trooper unit. This time going with the rebel troopers here in the center. Or rather, another core unit. Now they have some options. They can either try and weave their way around and establish a presence likely here behind the rock formation, or they can take advantage of the barricade and put themselves in a position where they can cover this direction, but not really have much in the way of cover from this way, other than the forest. So yeah, looks like he's going to take advantage of the rocks and establish a foothold here in the center. So long as he's back far enough from this mine token that he laid down previously, he should be okay with his positioning. Just tucking everyone in behind the rocks here should establish a pretty good foothold, and then it's going to deny pretty much anyone coming around this bend to capture this objective without taking some serious hit from the Z6 squad. That said, the snipers over here will immediately have shots at this squad without even having to move. They can just aim and fire. And where the snipers are currently positioned, he would have shots on, well, he'd have shots on enough people that the Z6 would not be threatened currently. Alright, so another trooper unit. This time I do think he's down to the quads in the center. We'll rotate around. Activating the purple unit. Probably determining range from the mine and determining if it would set off and target the troopers. I believe that they deploy, or the leader was outside of it. Can I quickly pull up a measuring tool myself? I'm not allowed to as a spectator. Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check. But I would imagine as though they are just out of range 1. So the purple troopers, failing their roll for removing the suppression, just take a dodge and stay to the woods. So it looks as though the Imperial player currently is playing a little more defensive, whereas the Rebel trooper is, or the Rebel player is moving out and taking a lot of aggressive positioning, giving himself really good positions for the second turn. Alright, so changing his mind, going with the the brown troopers, likely going to move them to more of a central position between the two, or going up on the hill, which is where I initially thought they were going to go, to provide support to either objective marker and being able to fire down on anything that gets close. His current range would get him roughly to this barricade, so it gives the Imperial player a little bit of room to work with. However, double moving on top of the hill here, he's going to cohere everyone on top, and that gives him really good positioning for firing down onto anything that comes out into contesting these two objectives. Additionally, it does give him really good ability to fire into the Imperial base, pretty much right from the beginning of the next turn. I'd suspect we'll see... I don't know what we'll see next turn. Probably Leia's 2 or 3 pip. I would highly doubt that he wants to use the generic 1 or even the generic 2, but he might. Could see the generic 3 as well. Give a bunch of orders to a bunch of trooper units. Alright, so the snipers are going to activate. As I said, they will have clear shots immediately at the, I guess, off-white, concrete-colored troopers in the center there behind that rock. And he's going to move them. I don't know his idea here, but I suspect he's going to attempt to get shots at the squad behind this tree, which he'll be able to do with no problem. Seeing a bunch of them with taking away their cover because of sharpshooter. He'll be able to fire at what looks like 2. I can see 2 different ones. I can see what looks like his head and his head. That said, next turn they'll be able to round the bend and immediately take fire again at these guys. So in theory what he should do is check the range and move the other trooper down here, and if he's within range 2, fire both of them at them, just ignoring the high velocity. So taking 2 shots, probably debating what he can see. So yeah, moving a little bit more this way. I guess that way is ignoring the debate as to how much he can see, because now we can see 2 people clearly. However, they were perfectly aligned so that they did blend together as one model, but I would say that these 2 were definitely visible. Alright, so taking shots, hits 1. And I suppose he's saying that he's getting hard cover because not a lot of models are actually visible, even though it is light cover. That said, I would have definitely moved the other trooper around the bend here to try and put additional fire into that squad. So it looks like the land speeder is actually going to activate, gets his full initial move as part of speeder. I would be suspect if he has range immediately to anything. So this might be problematic. No, next turn he has the ability to loop around. He'll be fine where he pushes it this time. However, he is currently... I guess they're arguing that he's not really on that terrain and that he's perfectly fine where he's at. Or, there you go. Now he's completely off it. There's no question about that one. Alright, so he does have range 4 to all these trooper units here. However, range 4 is only going to get him the rocket launcher. If we want to go look at the rocket launcher, it is only impact, no blast, so don't have to worry about it taking away cover. So the Imperials will be able to take advantage of the cover too. It is the rainbow effect, so he'll have a red, a black, and a white. However, with the cover taking away 2 hits and the dodge, So even if he would need criticals to go through and do anything. Otherwise, anything from the land speeder will be completely ignored. So at range 3, he does not have range to any of these troopers, just the rocket. He would probably be better to move forward an additional movement and fire. Yep, and that looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. He realized that there's not going to be a ability to take advantage of it. So he's going to go ahead and move to get within range 3 and fire a lot more weapons. Because otherwise, he'd be crit fishing. And that would be the only thing he could do. Alright, so moving forward, he's easily off the rock. Looks like he's going to try and move a little bit closer to it to get a better angle. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like he's perfectly fine where he's at. Putting a lot of troopers in range 3. He does have easily any of these two, plus orange, plus it looks like even blue. He can either split fire if he so chooses, or he can go at stuff. In all honesty, from where he's currently positioned, it'd be tempted to, I'd almost argue, no, it looks like red would benefit from cover, from the hard cover from the barricade. I'd say orange and blue are both susceptible to just light cover. And it looks like that is what he's doing. He's going against orange, which is the trooper. However, they will have hard cover because of the suppression and the woods. So he will be ignoring 2 hits here. We're seeing the full bore of a missile and the blaster up front. It looks like he gets 1 crit coming through and 4 standard hits. So that should negate it down to 3 hits. Ooh, eating 1, blocking 2, so that should be average. Taking away another trooper and adding another suppression. So, pretty... well, it wasn't as effective as what you'd expect. You saw a bunch of dice coming out into light cover. Didn't possess the power. It did possess the power to eliminate that whole unit, but didn't really take advantage of it. So while this guy moves, I'm gonna have to run upstairs real quick. So I will kind of hover above the board, and I'll be back in probably about a minute and a half. I need to quickly go and change something out. So I'll be right back.
No stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting
Alright, and we are back. It looks as though the second speeder is moving. I missed the sniper as to whatever happened there, I'm not exactly sure. But this speeder is moved within range 4, so he's going to be able to use his rocket. He is taking a speed 1 move into the woods. I would imagine he had to roll defensive for that, because if you end within cover, you take a wound. But again, I am not here to tell them what is what and what to do. That is up to a judge to do that. I cannot. So, it looks like he's going to fire rockets at one of the troopers. And 1 wound, which is going to get ignored by the cover. So, just a suppression. Alright, so activating Bosk. He can stumble out and fire at the land speeder currently. That might be one of his best moves at the moment. However, it's going to allow for retaliation. Oh, and it looks as though improvised orders was pulled, and we're going to get another sniper instead of Bosk. So one of the snipers did activate, and it looks like he moved up the hill here, but the small cliffs are impassable. I don't know, it's treated as difficult. So it looks like he is also moving up. Taking 1 wound. So it looks like both of the sniper units have lost their spotter. Looks like a singular, no hits because surges to nothing. And blanks. So what he was shooting at missed. So one of the snipers is dead. It looks like that's what the first sniper shot at. Killed off one of the snipers. And both snipers losing their spotters. Now there is a third sniper unit over here that is activated, shot, and did nothing. It looks as though the fleet troopers are going to activate. Keno being incredibly aggressive right off the bat with all his units, basically establishing a foothold right on the beginning of the middle of the map, pretty much denying Beez any movement whatsoever. Beez has yet to even leave his deployment zone, let alone move forward any. He has gained absolutely no ground from his current positioning, only sitting in his back line in the defensive area. That said, it really is going to put him in the back foot come next turn when it looks as though Beez is going to, Keno is going to be scoring easily 2 objectives here, potentially the 3rd objective if he's quick enough, just because there's no one else, or because Beez is not making any moves towards it. That will be problematic. It will give Keno a pretty big advantage right off the bat. And it also forces him to be stuck in his deployment position. He will have no movement outside, and he's actually setting up a lot of his troops in the open, such as these guys here, from any shots coming from this direction. So, having 2 suppression. Alright, going to the blue squad, which should have 0 suppression. They're going to aim and fire with the DLT at the speeder, who will get cover 2, plus armor 2. So he'll going to get 2 hits, which one of those hits will become a crit. So no reason not to reroll all 3 of those. Alright. So, same result. He should get a 3rd because that should convert to a crit. Suffering 2 wounds, but he should be rolling for a 3rd. Unless I'm missing something, there should be 3 crits that come through. So regardless of what the roll was, there should still be 3 coming in, because he would need crits to do anything, whether it be damage or hitting. So this speeder on 2 wounds. This speeder should have a singular wound from the bombardment, which is likely this token here. I believe it should take another one for ending its movement in the woods, but again, not a judge. So this sniper here, aiming and firing immediately from his position, which is fantastic, into the troopers over here. They should get no cover. What looks like 2 crits. Really good roll. You're going to negate the first save, and so 2 will be dead from that. So again, we just see Beez being super aggressive. Keno being super aggressive, where Beez has been pretty much relegated to just this back deployment area right here. Not even like extending himself into the open here where he could have deployed. So, going with the orange troopers this time. 2 suppression that he has to roll off. Gets 1, so we'll get a singular action out of this. Looks as though he's going to fire at the speeder. He'll have 4 shots, 2 white, 2 red, looking for crits. Or a singular hit. So, 2 hits, 1 of those converts. And they're not taking it. So maybe I'm reading into that wrong, but I believe the crit should still surge up and should be able to go through this thing, because the armor only cancels 2 hits, not crits. As well as the cover 1 only negates hits as well. So in theory, you're only negating 4 hits. So I'm not sure that that is being done properly. Alright, so Stormtrooper Squad, or no, Bosk firing, getting 2 crits, and a third that should, I believe, be ignored. Yep, getting 1 more through. Oh, he's saying 2. Interesting. I'm not sure I understand why he picked up 2. And the vehicle becomes damaged. I don't remember which one the face is. I believe it is damaged. It's either damaged or disabled. It is not destroyed. Because destroyed is either the, I believe, the surge. And they're looking it up real quick. So yeah, it is a damaged result. Good call looking it up. Alright, so damaged results means that it gets basically 1 activation. If I'm not... Yeah, it must roll, otherwise it gets 1 activation, or 1 thing. Which on a speeder doesn't matter, as it would get its compulsory move anyway. Alright, so that concludes turn 1, now comes turn 2. Really heavily favoring the rebels right now. However, this land speeder is currently hurt. Pretty much damaged. I believe it should have another wound or 2 on it, but I could be wrong as to how that was played. Alright, so both cards are now out. Looks like we were going for somebody has to save our skins, which was what I thought was going to happen. And then coordinate fire. Alright, so all the synergy of the troopers working together, so it might actually still work that all these troopers are held back here, whereas Saber Skin is going to give 3 units, and she'll be able to activate the 2 that she is close to, if she properly assigns them. So it looks like she's going with a sniper and the speeder. Being at range 2, both of these should be able to activate as soon as she activates. So will he draw from the pile, or will he just go with it? It looks as though Red was able to secure the tie. So he is dishing out his orders now. Being able to be 3 core unit. Veers is not eligible for that. So again, a minor mistake made by Beez here. He is not eligible to assign a order to Veers with coordinate fire, as it is 3 core unit. Veers is a trooper unit, sure, not a core unit. Alright, so speeder activating, which is actually a surprise. I would have activated Leia and then been able to activate the speeder and the, what you want to call him, the sniper. Looks like he is going to move twice to get within range 2 of one of the troopers and then be able to use all 4 weapons. Nope, you need to hit next. There you go. Good. Alright, so deciding to only move 1. It will activate that mine if he goes there. I think it will actually activate the mine now. He might be within range 1 of the mine, and the mine can see him. So, I don't know why they aren't activating that mine. I guess he needs to wait to confirm that's exactly where he's going to be. Alright, so he's going to rotate him instead of moving. Which he doesn't get a free rotate, so that is going to cost him. And he's in range 3, so yeah, he's not going to be within range 2 to use all the weapons. However, again, this mine can clearly see the land speeder. Alright, so laying out some fire at the orange unit to try and eliminate it. 1 crit, 4 hits against units in soft cover. So, that's going to be 3 dead trooper units. Or 3 dead stormtroopers. I think that there should have been more dice being rolled. Oh no, this one is the one heavy in the entire group. I keep forgetting about that. This one is heavy, whereas these ones are light. That does make a huge difference. That said, I believe this mine, unless he's outside of range 1, they might have measured it. They might be just at range 1. Alright, Veer's activating. Again, with an incorrectly done token, but not a judge, can't call him on it. It looks like he's moving behind the tree just to get a little bit closer to everybody. He gave out spotter to, I believe, Bosk and likely this stormtrooper group here. Alright, on to blue player. So that was a nice overhead. Drew a core unit token. Looks like he's going to activate the rebel troopers that were behind the rock. Again, this is a scoring turn, so I believe you need to be within range 1, or is it base to base? At the end of each round, if they're in control. Players control of an object if they have more trooper units in range 1. So yeah, you just need to be in range 1, you don't need to be in base-to-base contact with this thing. So he is likely just moving out in order to get a bunch of Z6 shots against the troopers over here, which is likely the case. So the mine did not activate. That is interesting. Minor blessing to the rebel unit right there, as they're going to light up the purple unit with what looks like all their shots. Alright, 10 dice going in, hard cover. You're going to see 3 crits. The surges are ignored, and then 4 hits. So those 4 hits will drop to 2, so you'll see 5 shots coming in that can be enough to eliminate that squad. However, we see 3 eliminated. That is above average. As you see 3 of these units drop, only the commander is left. Squad leader by himself, as he lost his entire trooper unit. He likely should have been able to keep that DLT, but sometimes the dice are hot, sometimes they're not. Alright, so stacking up aiming and firing likely at the land speeder here, trying to get as many crits as he can against it. It looks as though he needs 6, so he needs 2 more to go through to destroy that land speeder. It has not activated yet, so it is still a very valid choice. 5 white dice? Yes, 5 white dice. And it looks as though he got 2 crits in, which is what he needs. One of those hits converts to a crit. Rerolling gets another hit, but that is ignored by the cover. Second aim, ignored. So, it should be 2 crits, 3 crits coming in. Can it kill it? It surges to defend, I believe. Yes, it does. So he takes a 5th wound, not dead yet. Good attempt, but defying the odds, saving the land speeder. And look at that, he draws it. So it is going to get another activation before it blows up. However, he needs to roll a die to see what it's going to be able to do. On a paint, he's able to do something. If not, he gets a singular action. So he'll still get his compulsory move. It has to be your full 2, can't be a 1. Has to be full 2. And if you land in this, it's going to be difficult terrain, which will kill the vehicle. I think that's what they're debating. I think he is going to die because of his compulsory move. I could be wrong on that one, but that is what I estimate. It should be dead. Wow. Maybe they're not playing it that way. That is possible. You can't have a vehicle end its turn in terrain, and it didn't complete a full compulsory move. So I believe Keno is playing that incorrectly, and I believe Beez is not calling him properly on it. That, or, again, there is a good chance, I could be completely wrong with that, but I do believe that is the correct rules. Alright, so, Landspeeder taking shots at the red squad. He's going to get his full complement of dice. Oh, he's only using his rocket. Or no, just the blaster. So he's going to split fire. So 2 hits should be negated by... likely by cover. I wonder what they're measuring and debating. So with the ability to delete that full unit, he opts to only roll the blaster. Looks as though they've paused real quick to maybe look up some rules. I believe it causes a wound regardless, whether it is compulsory or not. My understanding is that Landspeeder should be dead. However, if someone wants to look that up to verify one or the other, and I believe he didn't do his full compulsory. I believe his compulsory must be 2, and he only compulsoried 1. So I believe he did that incorrectly. On top of the fact that he ended in terrain. Looks as though they're looking it up. That might be the fact for a walker, but I think a speeder is different. Again, need to probably look it up. I don't have the rules in front of me, and I rarely play vehicles, and even when I do rarely play them, I don't really drive them into anything. So since we have a little bit of a pause here, as the players debate something or looks up stuff, maybe I'll go and look up the rules. See if I can't find it. Alright, so, speeder See if we can't find anything there. There's a lot of matches. Oh man, it's still searching. Looks like they've discussed whatever they needed to and agreed to just move on with whatever the ruling is. There's a lot of mentions of terrain. I'd honestly have to flip through the book to figure it out. Alright, so the speeder's trying to nominate stuff. Alright, so suppression is given. I don't know what he's rolling. I assume it's the driver's gunner and the driver's gun and the rocket. In which case he's shorting himself a singular hit. 5 wounds. Okay. Yeah. So, I'm not sure what exactly he rolled. Seems like there's a couple errors going on here I'm not too sure of. But we won't, again, can't bring them up, not a judge. All I can do is observe and report, and hopefully they review this later. And again, I could be completely wrong, so it might be worth them reviewing the rules, might be myself worth reviewing the rules, just to make sure that I'm in the correct report with that. I don't have the rule book on me. I don't want to pull up the PDF again. But if anyone wants to look that up, they're more than welcome to. Can't have units on top of other units, so this stormtrooper needs to be moved slightly more this way to get him off of this leader here. Yeah, that would be fine for walkers and infantry. I don't know about compulsory moves or speeders. I think that's the difference, and into terrain. I think the compulsory move is you have to move that distance or sustain a wound. So, firing gets 3 hits, 1 converts to a crit, so it should be a singular crit. Interesting. So it should be 4 negated from both armor and cover. 1 should go through for being a crit, and then 1 should go through for having bypassed both the cover and the armor. So it should be 2 saves. And we see it survive. Oh, so based on that, then he would have sustained 2 wounds because he could not have or he didn't complete his full compulsory, and he shouldn't even be where he's at because he's ending in terrain. Now that I'm fully reading your message, because he didn't do anything for the difficult terrain. I imagine that difficult reduces it to 1. You're correct, but I thought speeders can't end in terrain. So he should take 2 wounds then. Either way, this land speeder should be dead before he even fired. Because he reduced from 2 to 1, so that automatically gives you 2 wounds. That'd put him up to 6 wounds, he'd be dead. That is my take, but again, I'd have to go back and read through the rules for speeders, the compulsory move which you posted, and a few other things. Yeah, that is the one part about being on the sidelines, is we can only estimate what they're talking about and what they're saying. So it looks as though this trooper squad with now 4 aims is likely going to shoot at the speeder up here, trying to eliminate it. Or they might go after the trooper squad here at range 3. Alright, going after the trooper squad, indeed. I believe they would just get heavy cover from them shooting through the terrain they're currently in. Three hits, 1 crit. Plenty of rerolls available. Remains the same. Remains the same. Surge to a hit. Should have 1 more reroll. There you go. Full hits. So 2 of those are going to be negated, so it should be 4 save. Really? He's saying that it shouldn't be any cover. Losing 5 units. That should be that entire squad. This being area terrain, I would say that because they're shooting through a decent portion of it, these guys would gain the benefit of it. Yes, I believe that is what we were talking about. This land speeder, he made a compulsory 1 move and ended in terrain. That compulsory 1 being from 2 should give him 2 wounds, killing the land speeder. And I thought that speeders would have to do something about terrain, but if they just have to end, reduce their speed down to 1, his compulsory move moving it down to 1, he still should suffer 2 wounds, regardless. No matter how you slice it, I think this land speeder's dead. Alright, sniper moving up, looking like he's going to take a shot, likely at the other snipers. Alright, shooting at purple. Purple in hard cover, so he's going to need 2 hits or a crit. And there you go, gets the crit. That sniper is dead. Yeah, but you can't compulsory 2 into difficult terrain. Thus, it's going to be reduced to compulsory 1, which forces the wound for each movement speed he should have been at. Thus 2 wounds, thus he should be dead. Yeah, that is my take as well. I'm very sure that is the case. The being able to end your move in difficult terrain does make sense now, basically saying that we've realized that terrain is a thing. Really? Okay, cool. Well then. So then, compulsory move negation only damages you if you're going into an impassable object then, I suppose. Alright, shooting at blue squad. 2 hits. 2 saves. Needs to make 2. Fails 2. Loses them. Yeah, I was always under the impression that compulsories, if you ended in terrain or reduced your movement, you took damage. And he reduced his movement, which falls under the rules that was posted earlier, but could be wrong. Again, rules are fluid, and of course, whatever the players agree to is what they go with. So if they agree to that, then by all means, those are the rules. And there's nothing wrong with that. If they think that something is silly, then and they rule otherwise, then by all means, it counts. Nice, just move them all. course, positioning them as needed, but taking cover behind the structure. I believe Leia should be within range 1 of this objective marker. These guys should be within range 1 of it as well. These guys are within range 1 of this, I think. The unit leader is over here, so it might be a little far away. Alright, so sniper. Lining up a shot against the opposing sniper. Gonna win the sniper war here with the hit. Surges do not help. And blanks. With another bad sniper roll, he has pretty much lost the sniper roll. No, sniper battle. They're in round 2 currently. So, still early. So I suspect that depending on whose sniper activates first, they're going to lose the other sniper. I would have thought that this sniper would have been gone, but hey, sometimes you roll bad. So trying to activate the fleet troopers, fails to negate the suppression, so we'll get a singular activation. He would do wise to move them basically into there. Yep, hiding him in there definitely gets him within range 1 of this token. So that's no longer an issue. And it means that at least the squad leader and the scattergun are going to be safe from any retaliation. Checking the range, and he is easily within range 1 of that token. However, this mine should go off. So he is likely going to move him out of range of the mine, since he still can cohere as needed. And since that mine cannot see the unit leader's fine, it'd just be this guy. So yeah, he should be okay, because he moved him back enough to be out of the range of the unit leader. Beez, of course, measuring. So yeah, now it should be perfectly fine. However, I guess they don't know that if your trooper, say the trooper was here and the unit leader was here, the trooper could still set it off without any impacts going against the trooper leader. So, drawing, he pulls Bosk, puts him back in the deck by using Veers' improvised orders, and pulls out a trooper unit. I suspect he's going to attempt to take out the land speeder once again with the trooper leader. He has 4 aim tokens he could have used. Oh no, he was trying to get rid of the suppression, I believe, from this blue squad. Sorry. Read that incorrectly. I do not believe that the DLT can see. So it looks like he's just trying to get a crit. He would have done better to move the DLT out. And there he goes, he gets a crit. Gets 2! That's all I needed. We'll see if the land speeder makes it. And the land speeder falls to just stormtrooper fire. Finally eliminating this thing. Those land speeders being a heavy tax on the rebels. 75, 36, 34. Wow, those two are expensive. And a 10. So these two alone account for 70 points on top of the already existing 75 points, plus another 10. Yikes. Alright, so the troopers over here moving out. Looks like they're just going to hop up and over the barricade as opposed to trying to go around it. Still at long range. It is likely he will try and move against this tree. I'm assuming leaving Leia in position to take the objective. going to take a dodge and a standby and hold position. Also making sure that they're within range 1 of that objective marker. Pulling out a core troop. He has his choice of the purple guy. The single commander. Rallying to see what he can do. He can do a whopping 1 action. I suspect he's going to just take a pot shot at the speeder, since it would be in the open. Oh no, he's going to retreat him. He would be moving singular, because it is difficult terrain. So he's just retreating him to preserve the activation. Alright, pulling from his stack. We have Keno pulling the snipers over here, who cannot see the single unit. However, there is plenty of stormtroopers available for him to shoot at. So he's going to take an aim, and he's going to fire at what looks like the green troopers. Alright, Keno going for his sniper roll. Finds a crit and a hit. And on the aim, whiffs the second shot. I believe they say that because of suppression, they needed heavy cover. Or they had heavy cover, thus needing crit or 2 hits. So losing a singular trooper from the green. I believe that is a dead trooper unit, so you correctly put them out of the way. And he's going to activate Bosk. Bosk now has a lot of options. He can... I guess you can move him to position him for next turn. He does have range 4 to the speeder, so no reason not to take it. So the Bosk firing. Bosk gets a crit from the surge, but re-rolling with the half dozen aims he has. 2 hits, which should be negated. Ooh, there we go, 2 crits based on that. So 2 crits against the speeders, 1 speeder already dead. Had a little bit of a terrain compulsory move discussion. So, taking what looks like 2 wounds, oh no, a singular wound on the speeder, 1 wound shy of broken. We were debating earlier if one of the speeders should be dead from the compulsory move, and it looks as though the answer is no, it shouldn't be. Because he could still make a move, period. If he couldn't make a move at all, then we would say it's a different story. So, making his 1 speeder, moving up here, being able to get a bunch of fire at the different squads, not really doing much. It did take 3 different squads to bring it down though, so the activation for a kill really worked out in favor of the blue player here, Keno. Now, as for Beez, the red player, it looks as though he is still pretty much trapped back here in his deployment zone. His 1 objective marker here can't get to. I would say it has scored 2 points to Keno. So I will go ahead and update that real quick. One for each. And I believe that is how you correctly do it, right? At the end of rounds 2 and 4, each player gains 1 victory point for each objective token they control. At the end of the game, each player gains 2 for each token they control. So yes, I would say that This one was definitely scored by them. Without a ruler, I can't determine, but I imagine that this was within one of these two units. Alright, so going to... Let's see if he drew out the victory tokens. He did not draw out any victory tokens I can see. Looks like they're going to head to go to cards. The role player already has his down. Waiting on Beez to select his. Keno decisively placing it. Will it be a No Time for Sorrows, or will it be an ambush? Or generic 2, generic 3? So far we've only seen orbital bombardment, but coordinated bombardment, and somebody has to save our skins. So ambush, yes, and lying in wait. So Bossk is going to start charging up all his tokens at this point, attempting to go last again. However, the speeder going first likely is going to target Bossk. Or at least that would be the move I would make. I would compulsory move them up, aim and fire at Bossk, trying to trade the speeder for Bossk, because the speeder's almost dead as is. Bossk, being a hunter unit, is going to make pretty big of a difference. 115. Well, it's not an even trade. It's a trade down, that's for sure. But you're removing a very dangerous unit off the board. Your speeder is likely going to die no matter where you place it. You could attempt to wipe out either blue or red or Bossk. Take your pick. He will activate the mine, though, with the compulsory. There is no way around it. Perfectly placed. Unless the ruling the mine can't be set off that way. Oh, non-repulsor unit. Okay, so the repulsor unit ignores the mine. I completely forgot about that part of it. So the mine does not go off. I would almost sacrifice purple at this point to set off the mine. Or attempt to set it off, I should say. So it looks as though the speeder is debating what to do. He can either attempt to wipe out blue. He can attempt to wipe out green. He can do 2 of his weapons against the red squad, or against Bossk as well. So it looks as though he's going to use the driver's pistol. No, maybe not. Because that would be hard cover because of being behind this. I would say attempt to wipe out blue squad. They're in heavy cover. So maybe not. With the line the way it is, I'm assuming it might be Bossk. I would say these are your 3 options. Red Squad, Bossk, and Blue Stormtroopers. No matter what, I think you're going to be shooting through heavy cover. So I'd go for the blue. Gets a surge to a hit. Who somebody saves. On Green Squad, okay. That was the driver's pistol. Bossk is going to eat it, likely from the blaster and the rocket. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So, 4 hits, surge to hits, so yep, total of 4 hits. He does have an aim. 5 hits coming in. Bossk dropping it down because of the cover. Losing 3. It enrages Bossk, which is fine, so he doesn't care about his suppression, and he'll get regeneration at the end of his turn. Provided nothing else shoots him, he'll be okay, but that sniper up on the hill is a serious, serious threat to Bossk. That sniper can easily take him out, however it will be 2 activations wasted, this land speeder and this sniper against Bossk, who is an inferior point cost unit, but still pretty damaging unit. So, with Veers activating, gonna see him spotter. The only thing that is scary to Bossk at the moment would be that sniper rolling 2 hits. Blanked out those dice on Veers' shot. Blanked him again. Needed a crit. Didn't get it. I think Bosk might be okay. As long as that sniper doesn't land 2 hits on Bosk, I think he's good. I think the sniper would be best spent... And he gets Leia. Might be best spent trying to counter the other sniper up here. I think. You're more likely to kill him than you are to Bosk. Alright, so Leia has her choice of what to do. I think going through there, she'll need a 1 speed. Because that is... Oh no, it's open. Never mind. So this is heavy, this is open. Okay, so she can run right through there, no problem. She is within range 3 of nobody. So, do you move again? Yeah, just going up against the building. Safe call. Get her out of combat. Puts her in a good position for next turn to dish out some orders. So it looks like she's likely going to position herself to potentially reactivate that speeder if possible. And if not, definitely going to activate the blue troopers, likely with No Time for Sorrows, to get them around to wipe out the snipers. Now, activating the sniper up here, I think his target is definitely the sniper. If he takes out that sniper, that's a dead activation. Hitting a crit, that's all he needed. That sniper should be dead. And there you have it. Took out that sniper, and took out that sniper's token. Alright, so activating troopers. He's going to activate these blue troopers. He might actually run them around back here, be able to do it in a single turn. Just line up his shots and take out the sniper. So from where he's currently at... Okay, so he is going to move all his trooper units to be lined up so that they should be able to see both snipers. Both parts of the sniper. Well, no, it looks like he's only going for the one. However, I would suspect that this sniper is just all sorts of dead. Take it easy. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Alright, 4 shots, followed by the 6Z6, so total of 10. That is going to be 1 really dead sniper unit. 4 hits, 1's a crit. 2 whiffs, so 1 dead sniper unit. So they were probably in heavy cover because you can only see 1 of them. However, enough hits came through to eliminate that activation and took out those snipers. Alright, so troopers are going to activate. I would say go with green to go and hit the land speeder. Sure, why not? It's open. You're not going to have any cover that you have to worry about. Taking an aim and firing, so he gets 2 rerolls. Beez clearly not happy with his dice. And then Kino feeling sympathetic. So, a crit getting through, the hit counting as well, or being surged to a crit. You might as well reroll these 2 whites. You have the ability to. I would not reroll that. Well, no, you almost have to. Because you need crits at this point. So, 2 going through. Oh, he's saying 1. And he blocks it. Interesting. I would have thought that he would be able to be double critted there. Alright, so snipers activating. They're going to get shots at either... Take your pick of any of the stormtrooper groups over there. Going to aim and fire. Alright, looks like he's going against any number of them. Alright, going into the blue squad. Rolling a singular hit. Staying up, a hit, and I believe they surge. Like, yeah. So, be one dead model. And a suppression. Drawing out another sniper token. That one is eliminated because it's part of the squad that's dead. And a trooper unit. Do you activate blue or red and fire at the land speeder? He's within range 3, so you can activate it and fire. However, Bosk... Nope, he's been tracking Bosk, so that's good. Alright, so taking name and firing at the land speeder. I would say that it is probably concealed. Two hits. So, need to reroll 3 of those for sure. One of those converting to a impact. So, should be a singular... Really? Am I reading into this wrong? That is an armored unit, right? Yes, it is an armored unit. He should be getting a crit, which should go through. I think they're doing that wrong, but I could be wrong. Anyone here can easily correct me on that one, but I believe that one is being played incorrectly. Alright, so activating the fleet troopers. They really don't need to do anything. Dodging a standby in case anyone gets feisty. Trooper unit. See, I still think you should activate the purple unit and try and make this mine go off. Just double move them up and around to make that mine go off and take out the land speeder. Alright. Going after the land speeder here. DLT and 4 stormtroopers. He gets 1 crit. That should be 2 crits because of impact. Nope. Should be just the 2. And apparently they're still calling it as 1. And he blocks it. Man, that land speeder's been surviving a lot of things that it shouldn't be surviving, but hey, anything is possible. So it looks like Bosk is going to have to come in and save the day against the land speeder. Activating these rebel troopers here. At this point, you have to keep them back to likely control this. Alright, so he's going to activate the guys up here. I don't believe they'll have range to anything. Nope, they will have range to nothing. As the stormtroopers have basically been pushed in their corner. So he's going to scale down the cliff. One more. Alright, he's going to just jump down the cliff. He takes a singular wound in doing so. And then he's likely going to move. To get cover behind this tree. That way he prevents them from getting attacked, and this should be okay. Alright, up next, another trooper unit, should be the purple guy. Again, I'd move him 1, and then double move him to the mine. You can move him 1 here, and you can easily move him 2 to here, which should be easily within range to the mine. Or you can do this, go there too, and you can, hell, I don't know what he's going to do. He's running him away. So it looks like he's trying to get the single unit over here to try and contest the objective. I would honestly say you go for the mine. He's a single unit, let him eat the mine to try and detonate it and take out the land speeder. Or you could have used blue to move and fire and having Veers spotted them. So, very easy dodge and standby taken by the rebel troopers up there. Boss getting his activation. I don't know what else is left. Trooper unit that should be... So that's the commander. So this group already went. Oh, it must be this blue right here, who failed to do anything. However, I believe he missed out on an opportunity to inspire from both red and from Veers to take off the suppression, unless the suppression recently happened. I believe that the speeder activated earlier to add that suppression. So... Oh no, it was the sniper that did it. So yes, never mind, that suppression came after the fact. Alright, at least he's making moves for the next turn to keep it from running out of his hands. However, even at the end of the game, only getting 2 points a token, he'll have to contest this one as well as this one, or have to hold this one and also control this one, and that would tie it where it currently sits. So Bosk is going to activate. Probably going to move into the cover. He doesn't care about the cover at all. Ooh, he does have a juicy trooper unit right over here he can fire at. However, from his positioning, he can only see 3, maybe 4. If you wanted to argue, you can see the sliver of that dude's base. He might actually have all 5 based on that. If you're looking from his head, I would say that might be too far over. That would likely be his actual facing. I'd say you can only see 3. He could move... No, there's no way. He would have to move in ways that he probably can't. Alright, so looks like he's going to move out, try and get a shot in the open against the speeder. He needs to do 1 wound to break it, 3 wounds to kill it. There is plenty of saves that happen against the speeder. It should already be broken, almost dead, but them's the breaks. Looks like he might try and get a shot off on the guys way back here in heavy cover. The options here are not great no matter what he does. There you go. You got him up there. Alright, so is he going to shoot the land speeder or is he going to shoot somebody else? Looks like he's shooting the land speeder. He has 7 aim tokens, so it's going to be a lot of crits. Crits and surges, that's what he wants. And right off the bat, he gets 3 crits. That's nuts. 4th crit. Now he's just fishing for a surge or a crit. I think this is 4, and there he goes, all 5 crits. That should be 5 saves on that speeder. Saves 2, but 3 is enough to kill it. He loses that speeder. Alright. And he regenerates a singular wound with that. Well, I suppose that actually worked out really well in Bosk's favor. He traded up for that one, eliminating a, what, 160-ish point unit for his 130-ish. So he did trade up. I would say here, you do Reptilian Rampage, you nail these guys, and you nail these guys. That would be my call. Because from where he's at, he can see both. He can only see little bits of them, but that suppresses them. Now Leia will ignore that. So it's tough. It's tough. He could move out more to here and then just fire twice at that squad. Reptilian Rampage, as we saw, and then No Time for Sorrows, like I called earlier. So likely Blue is going to get a free move. And it looks like Beez being able to keep the action, or the activation, or the, what do you want to call it? Priority. So, issuing one to Leia, and likely one to these troopers? Effectively trying to get range on Bosk with that movement. But stay out of line of sight. So likely he's trying to get in position where if Bosk activates first, Leia can come out and try and shoot him down. So with Bosk being on a bunch of wounds, he will likely need to move backwards over here, almost into the barricade area, and then take the 2 shots at those troopers there. Blue troopers moving into safety thanks to No Time for Sorrows, so they are no longer an eligible target. Bosk can move down here. However, again, Leia wrapping around the corner and firing at Bosk is an option. So yeah, likely the best move right now for Bosk is to move this direction and then fire 2 shots at the rebel troopers back here, because then that takes this objective out of play. He would have to move troopers back to it to do anything. Because right now the only troopers active able to get it are these guys. However, if he moves over that way, the sniper will be set up to shoot him. But the sniper shooting at Bosk is not the best use. I don't know if he'll be able... Well, he could lay on some damage and Leia can take advantage of it. Because he'll be back up to 3. Potentially can regenerate, though. He should regenerate 1. So there we go. And does he have stims? He does not have stims. So yeah, looks like he's going to move out. Going to take the 2 shots either at Leia or at the trooper unit. I think taking the trooper unit might be a good call, simply because that way that trooper unit now has to send somebody back in order to be in contact with this this objective. But I don't know what he's going to do. Alright, so he has moved. Leia still can see him. So he's basically risking it now. I would still put him in this terrain. I'd move him so he's just barely touching it, so he gets at least the light cover. And he's gonna go after Leia. Oh, not only if he fired at these guys twice, he could suppress them out, in theory, too. So they would be forced to run. They might still have range to Leia, though. But at 4, I believe 4 would be enough to cause him to bail. It's tempting. It's very tempting. Instead, he's going after Leia, who I would say has heavy cover. But boss don't care. Two going through, Leia taking 1, I believe. Yeah, 1, because she does surge. He gets an aim now. Does surge to a crit. And we see 2 crits, 2 hits. So it's going to be another 2 dice rolls, and again takes a singular wound on Leia. I'm not sure that is what I would have done. Leia should in theory go last. So 3 regeneration rolls tossed, singular regeneration made, hanging on with 2 wounds. Leia, on the other hand, going to activate. Or maybe checking range. Oh man, I would have totally shot these guys. Leia is suppressed though, so she'll have to roll for panic when it becomes her turn. I think I would have shot these guys personally. Alright. Squad down here taking shots at the snowtroopers in the woods. Heavy cover. Should be all but the one guy. Well, yeah, all but the one guy. So 1 crit, so 1 thing went through so far. And a singular hit will go through. So should be 2. And missing 1. Again, rolling slightly below average. And taking a suppression. Alright. He pulls Veers' token. Debating what to do, I assume. Spotter your red team. Spotter... I don't know. Maybe... Well, you remove the suppression. Move to be in between them. Spotter, spotter? Sure, that's what I'd do. They have roughly an hour and 15 minutes left. So he's going to use improvised orders to pull Trooper instead. Activating green, he's going to start making his way towards that central objective because he realizes, I think... Oh no, he's going to move into cover. I think he's starting to realize that it's turn 4 and he needs to make a move for at least contesting this to keep it within reach. Because then that will mean that Kino will be up 2 to his 1, or 3 to his 1. Instead, if he doesn't contest it, then you're going to see that objective go up 4 to 1, thus putting the game almost out of reach for Beez. Still deciding where to go and what to do. Alright, making his move towards the terrain. Likely to try and get range on Leia. Maybe to try and suppress her out or to kill her, depending on what they do. Yeah, they can all see her. You can put them up here too if you wanted, but that sniper is going to have nice shots at a bunch of people no matter where he goes. Alright, targeting Leia. We'll only have the DLT. You're gonna need... Oh no, he does have everything. Okay. Gonna need crits. 2 hits, surge into a hit, so that will get 1 wound on her. No, that is range 4, buddy. You are only needing red die. So yes, your die pool is too many. There you go. Crit and hit. Crit goes through. And she doesn't get it. So she'll take a 5th suppression and a 5th wound. So she is 1 wound away, and she will panic depending on her rolls. Alright. And she couldn't Guardian away. She's not close to anybody. So it looks like he's activating Leia. Oh, so 3 suppression go away. So she will be able to activate a singular activation. Likely move her out of... Good call. Moving her away from the nightmare. She is effectively now... I don't know. She doesn't have many good options, I'll put it that way. Because if she had panicked, she would have ran basically to where she's going to end up now. And then if she didn't roll perfect again and panicked again, she would be off the board edge. However, with what she currently has, she's okay. She'll likely hide back here for the rest of the game, if not trying to loop back around. Pulling a trooper unit. It looks as though there's going to be quite a few options. You have 2 easy options here. You can take blue or pink and just make them be up here with the objective marker. Or alternatively, you can have pink pretty much double move to try and contest this objective marker. Or you have both blue back here and red who can open fire on the blue troopers down here. Looks like a pause was needed. So we're going to let them take a moment. I'm going to go off mic real quick. Alright, so still going on the break. 15-minute break maximum, so could be to look up rules, could be to go take care of stuff. Maybe he has a dog he has to let out. Plenty of things he has to do. So, he has time with which he can do stuff with. No big deal. I'll take advantage of this time to check through a few things I need to check through. Go through Discord, basically. Nothing big. Looks like a few things at Celebration were being announced. It looks all like Invader, or definitely not Legion stuff. Cool. Oh hey, Inferno Squad. Sweet. That must be for, what is it called? It's not Invader. It's not Lee, it's the board game. And here's the rule discussion here. Cool. And Legion General, okay, cool. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Alright, cool. Alright, so time is ticking down to 11 minutes of his break. checking messages while we wait. Likely he had to take his dogs out, I'd imagine, if he has dogs. Just check and see, make sure. They both might not even be at the computer. Oh, seems like both of them had a phone call to make. Okay, well that's cool. Well then, I guess while they do that, I will keep working on my new subscriber icons. Delete that guy. Now I need a 6-month. What do we want to use for 6 months? We could use that one. That one's cool. Let's do that. Looks as though one of them is back. And it looks like both of them are back. Alright, so play is resumed. Alright, let's flip back everything so that way I can see what's going on. What am I missing? That's what I'm missing. Okay. Alright, so he drew a core unit. I guess they're reviewing a few things before they get back at it. Time is ticking though. They've still got an hour and 10 minutes though. They are moving kind of quick. It looks like a lot of things have been, a lot of activations have gone. So let's see, 1, 2, 3 activations from the Imperials, 11. And over on the Rebel side, it looks as though 1, 2, 3 activations as well. 4 activations. So extending his activation lead, Beez has quite a few options. Looks as though he's going to activate Red Squad. Your squad, nobody can see anybody behind those trees. Your arguably best point is going to be to move forward and attempt to take out the troopers back here. Because again, if you take them out, this point becomes untouched, and someone will have to move to go and get it by the end of this turn. That is where I think Bosk would have been a better use, but at the moment I don't know what you do. You can attack these guys, that is true. They are threatening your flank. I don't think you're going to easily get range to these troopers over here though. That's going to be likely out of range. Bosk might have had it had he moved. I think where he was, he could have done it. So if you go here, you will have line of sight to them. Looks like they're debating this mine. Alright, so he is going to move over this direction. Likely try and get cover by putting some of his units in the terrain. Or not. This guy wouldn't... Well, maybe they're trying to spot the guys behind the trees, which he's able to do now. They are at range 4, so yes. Okay, that's what he's trying to do. So he's going to get a couple shots off. Looks like the entire squad can see at least 1 or 2. However, they're going to have hard cover. So, just a suppression. So yeah, based on that, Bosk might have been able to move to get these guys in. Yeah, I still think shooting these guys would have been the better move than shooting Leia. Because it would have forced them to retreat to get back to this objective. Leaving these guys to their lonesome, in which you could have moved around and taken them out. Leia would have still been here as a threat, but at least now she's completely mitigated. I don't know. I don't think either was bad. I think that Leia was the second choice. These guys would have been the first. Going with Leia was not terrible. And he draws the sniper. So, the snipers will have a lot of choices. You can go for Bosk, which is what he's going to do. You need 2 wounds on Bosk. And he gets 2 hits. One of those will go through. So Bosk will take a 4th wound. Unless he wants to reroll and try and go for the crit. Yep. Just taking the extra wound. He'll regenerate it later. However, it now gives these troopers incentive to run out and take out Bosk, but then you're wasting this whole squad. They're going to be lit up the next turn. Fleets can also likely do it, but again, you're really risking it. Alright, so the blue squad likely going to attack the rebel troopers down at the bottom. They're going to aim and fire. I believe that all of them can see some people. Yeah. Looks like the only guy who's exposed is going to be, or who's safe, is this one lone trooper there. And your DLT, and there you go. Alright, can the troopers sustain this fire? 1 crit, 2, 3 hits. Alright, so it looks like 2 of those hits are going to be dropped, should be 2 saves. And 2 are dead. The Z6 is still there though, so still a massive threat. He needed 4 to make it non-threatening, so the same as if they were in the open. Alright, so activating likely the troopers here. They do have their option to come out and shoot Bosk. They do need to unsuppress though. And they do not, so they get a singular activation. They can return fire at Green Squad, because Green Squad did fire at them. However, I do not believe that they would have range, so they're just going to take a dodge and end their turn to prevent from getting shot up even more. Alright, drawing the snipers. Up here, what does he actually have that he can see? The short answer is... Wait. He must have... I thought he drew a sniper unit. He does have range 3 to Bosk. So maybe he's changing his mind. Going to take the fire action. I'm going after the red squad because he moved his 1 trooper far enough forward that he has range. One hit, which should be ignored because of terrain. So red will just get a single suppression. And now it should be... Oh, it is Veers. Okay, it's Veers. I didn't see, I was just quickly flipping. Alright, so Veers going to remove somebody's suppression. They've already activated, so getting them spotters worthless. You could get rid of their suppression. I believe he is forgetting Inspire. He does have shots. That one dude's leg is like sticking out. Well, his base too. You can see his base. So he could fire at it's range 4, so no, he can't do it even if he wanted to. Alright, so he did end up remembering the Inspire. Looks like he's going to take another move. Likely just part of making a giant push at the center objective here. All he has to worry about activating are these guys who will be out of range and the fleet troopers here. So activating these guys, they have to basically stay where they're at. Going with the fleet troopers, he could come around and light up either Bosk or Veers. However, in doing so, it's really going to be kind of a difficult choice with what to do. Because it's going to leave them exposed. It's going to open them up to getting completely lit up next turn. Alternatively, who still needs to activate? Purple still needs to activate, so that'll be 2 shots, or a shot, and then this Navy needs to activate, and that will be DLT and a commander. I think where you're currently at, you can round the bend and take out Bosk if you want, or you can just ignore it. I would say, honestly, yeah, that's probably a good call. Do that. Alternatively, you could have activated them and done the same thing. However, you can see them through here. So it is an option. Unit can move and shoot. You'll need crits, but hey, if you're taking this objective and you have nothing better to do, shoot people through the rock. Why not? You can see their base. They'll get hard cover, but I guess he's checking ranges now, trying to verify what's going to happen. I believe you're going to go down. He's going to take 2 points this round, so next turn you're going to have to make the hard push and take this over and win based on kill points. I don't know if he knows that you can see through the rocks. So it is possible you can move like here, get contested or get this objective, and shoot through the rocks to try and take out probably 2 guys, to be honest with you. From here, he cannot see anybody. You'd have to be here to see them. So he could, oh, he's probably doing that with the DLT. Yeah, from the DLT, he can see 2 unit bases. So the DLT could easily fire into them if wanted. No, he's saying that the DLT is going to go for those guys there. Okay. Try and suppress him and cause him to run, I suppose. Got a hit. That is not enough, but it will give him a suppression. You'll need to give him 1 more, so that they will have to run next turn. However, again, this turn, there isn't going to be much. So they will dodge and standby as well. I see the dodge here. You would have to get a crit to ignore the dodge. So, I mean, you need a crit anyway. But hey, it's a thing. Alright, so the sniper is going to activate. The sniper, he would honestly have to move. If he moves, he could see through the rock, through that little crack. If he moves over here, he could easily see some bases. However, I don't know, well, that would be a speed 1 move. He can easily get around that. Moving forward also works. From there, he can see the snipers. I think he would shoot the snipers, because they'll be in the open. Yeah, I'd do that. Shoot the snipers. Now, it would only eliminate 1 sniper. So you have your choice of these units, these units, these units, or the snipers. Looks like he's going after the snipers. The one is perfectly hidden, can't be hit. The one hit is all he really needs. That sniper should be dead. Oh no. Nope, I'm sorry, I forgot. Because the other one's hidden, it would be considered heavy cover. Thus he would need 2 hits or a crit. So yes, suppression given, but that's going to be irrelevant. Sorry, I completely forgot about the fact that he had a second sniper back here. Or a spotter, rather. So all that's left is purple to activate. And yeah, he's just going to move them there. And that'll be the end of the turn. So that should be another 2 points scored for Keno, and 1 point scored for Beez this turn. So I'll go ahead and update that. So 4 and 1. Alright, so doing assault versus... Ooh. Interesting. So likely, I didn't think of that, boss can move up, throw the grenade so as to eliminate the fleet troopers. And of course he can, if he actually moves up to like the rocks, he can see through it. He could easily take him out that way. Leia giving orders to the suppressed blue squad back here, herself, and the tree group. Did he draw Veers on purpose to check something? Oh, looks like he stacked the deck and is doing the merciless ammunition later. Oh, he's checking the range of that explosion, which again, it shouldn't, because they would have activated it if they were within range. So, the Imperial player, in order to win, he does not have a lot of options. You effectively have to blank out your opponent this turn. Or, well, you get 2 turns to blank him out, but you have to blank him out from objectives or table him at this point in time. Both of which are doable, just not great. And of course I'm peeking, I apologize for that. So, aiming and firing over there. Gets a crit and a hit. And then gets 2 more hits, so that will be 2 in. Makes a save, 1 more is down, and that, yeah, it has to be the Z6. So this platoon of rebel, what are they? Rebel troopers are not really as threatening anymore now that Z6 is gone. Blue has activated. They have not moved at all this game. You do have your choice of models to activate. Looks like he's going to activate this rebel trooper unit. Maybe get in there and try and pick off Bosk at this point in time. Throw him away. That is an option. Alternatively, you can go with the tree group. Depending on what they do with their suppression. Ooh, they're forced to do a single thing again. I suppose you can attack. That is an option. Bosk on 3 wounds. You need to do 2 to kill him. This is where having stims would make me feel a little more comfortable. I guess debating where to go. Alright, so let's do the math real quick. Let's say current standing, Keno would gain 4 points at the end, giving him a total of 8. And then Beez would get 2 points, giving him a total of 3. Alright, so apparently the squad is going to shoot at the red squad. However, if Beez kicks Keno off this center point, which is doable, 1 crit and 2 hits coming in. 1 crit's the only thing that matters. Actually, it should be 2. Loses an infantryman. Good call, taking the one in the front. That way it pushes their range back out. If Beez manages to kick him off, that would mean that he would get 2 points for this objective marker, giving him a total of 6 to his current 3. If Beez took this objective, he would then go up to 5 to the 6. So he would have to eliminate this squad, and eliminate this squad to win. Because the snipers could get over here though, so that is also a problem. So you can eliminate the snipers with your sniper, and then you'd be okay. That is the only way for Beez to win, would be to eliminate these squads and potentially stop the snipers from getting close enough to the objective. Or somehow table Keno. Keno, on the other hand, all he needs to do is hold his position and just keep withering fire. All he really needs is this one objective, and he would win, no matter what else happens. So at that point, depending on where you put stuff, yeah, all you need to do is control this 1 point. Of course, you want to maximize your points that you won, because obviously if you do that, you're able to then get, what you want to call it? Stuff. You're able to do things and stuff. You're able to get more points that can be used as tiebreakers. So is he going to cohere them back here and then try and set it off with a singular trooper? Doesn't look like it. So is he trying to attack the guys through the rocks, or try and attack the guys behind the trees? What are you... Oh, he is trying to attack the guys behind the trees. Okay, trying to load them up with suppression. They've already activated, however, whereas you have these guys and these guys still to activate. Alright, getting in 2 hits and a 3rd hit from the surge. That'll go down to a singular hit because of terrain and suppression. And he loses another model out of this group and gains his suppression. So they are now able to suffer from panic. However, Leia will keep them from running. Alright, drawing a token. He gets the snipers. These snipers can take out the opposing sniper if he wanted to, or he could take out Bosk. In all honesty, the best move right now is likely the sniper. But also, oh, going after green squad. Interesting. Nope, changing his mind. Or going for it. I think your targets should be either the sniper or Bosk. Likely the sniper is the best choice, because that eliminates an activation that is yet to activate, and in addition, 1 hit, so it'll just be a suppression. Oh, no, not enough hard cover. I'm sorry. He didn't have a suppression, and these are both light, so yes, it'd be a singular model dead with a singular hit, because he ignores the light cover. I would say... Yeah, I think you should have shot at the sniper. Taking him out prevents him from sniping your units, or hitting Bosk, preventing him from using his grenade, which he can throw, potentially getting both this group and this group. I think it's only going to be this group, though. Or he could toss it. Oh, that'd be a hell of a move to get it over here. There's no way. So yeah, put it here, take out the fleets. So the sniper can target this pink model, so he needs to be aware of that, so that he could lose this objective token. Putting the DLT here, he will have line of sight. There'll be hard cover. But he can shoot him. So never forget that this piece of terrain you can see through. You need to be at specific angles to do it, but it is doable. Alright, so likely getting 2 shots from the DLT. 2 hits. Should be ignored and just given a suppression. Alright, activating these guys. They will not have range to anybody where they're currently standing. Fleet troopers might as well activate because they're going to get annihilated by Bosk's grenade if they don't. That's why I think that you should have activated Bosk much earlier. I don't exactly know why he held off with Bosk. That would have been a perfect first move. Move him up, throw a grenade around the corner, blow it up. Because as of now, fleets, they need to make a suppression roll, which they did. They're going to take an aim, and it looks like they're going to fire back at the DLT. Looks like 2 guys, the scattergun and the other dude. A singular hit going through so far, being able to reroll 2 of them. There you go, 2 hits. And the scattergun will pierce 1, so 1 will be dead automatically, which is the DLT. Oh no, he has a hard cover coming back the other way. Okay, so just suppression. He needed a crit. Or 3 hits. Alright, so pulling from the stack, we get Veers. That might not be terrible. Give Bosk an aim. So the grenade has aim, I suppose. You've activated them. You have not activated red, so you can remove that suppression. I would say... Oh, I really don't know. Unless he's going to have Veers run out and detonate the mine. I think that's what he's going to do. Okay, go for it, Veers. And that should detonate it. And it does. Single detonation. Red and a black coming Veers' way. Singular hit. Veers getting a save. No surge. And he saves, just takes a suppression. Not terrible. And he should get a second action after that. Will he shoot the troopers? Will he move? What will he do? I guess he's debating if he can actually see them. It looks as though he can only see the DLT. So he might just go after the DLT. Sharpshooter will remove their cover. Sharpshooter 1, so we'll bring down the light. 2 crits. Wow. That's not bad. That is, yeah, it was 1 dead DLT. Or, not DLT. Z6. Alright, drawn from the stack. Trooper unit. These guys will be able to target Veers. There's going to be a lot of fire coming at Veers. However, that 1 suppression will help him, though. Nada. Singular hit is ignored. Gets a singular suppression. But Veers has 2 courage, so he'll need to take either a singular action next turn. Well, no, because he'll negate it. And I believe that's all the rebel activations except for Leia and the blue squad down at the bottom. So saving Bosk for last. Activating the purple squad. Likely just dodge and standby. Oh no, he's gonna get him behind cover, I suppose? And taking a dodge there. Okay. Detonating this landmine. Why? Dead. I'm not exactly sure the point of that. I really don't know the point of that one. You just cost yourself an activation for a mine that was effectively not bothering anything. I really don't know the point of that one, because these two mines are pretty much useless. Interesting. I'm not sure I agree with that call. I don't know why he did that, to be honest. Alright, so, blanked out on his activation of the blue squad. They're going to get a single action. Likely to just fire at the stormtroopers. Single shot from the command leader. Hits, but it's going to be nothing because of the heavy cover. Should just be a single suppression. Alright, red squad's going to activate. I believe you need to deal with this squad here. If you don't deal with them, they're going to win the game. I guess he's setting up for that next turn? I still don't think I understand why he did that. Alright, moving everybody up. That is fire range 1, not cohesion range. I believe that is an illegal move. Again, can't call him on it. Not a judge. However, I believe he has that incorrect. That is the range 1, not cohesion 1. However, by putting him there, that doesn't really do much for you because your range comes from here. So cohering them up like that is kind of pointless. And unless he's trying to get line of sight onto this one dude. It's a singular guy though. Your Dioxis grenades are still better. Gets a crit and 2 hits. So the crit are 3 hits, so 2 will go through. Saves both. However, they will take a suppression. Again, technically not a legal move. Alright. Nothing left for blue player except for Leia. So she needs to make a suppression check. Or maybe that was the troopers. I think it was Leia. So dodge and standby on Leia. Interesting call. I mean, she is very susceptible. Does not get rid of that suppression, which is what I think that was for. They're debating as to who it was for. So Leia is actually going to move away. And then hide behind the tree. So Leia becoming pretty much out of the game at this point, just providing her range for orders and everything else. I still think it's going to come down to turn 6 if you can deal with whatever happens here in the center is effectively going to change the game. This squad still holds this objective. This squad can get over to the objective. Leia can also get over to it. So you still have a lot to deal with. So up last, I believe, is going to be Bosk. Oh, there's still another command, which is the sniper. So your choice of Bosk or the sniper. Looks like he's going to activate Bosk. Alright. And then is he going to Diaxis, or is he going to... Well, he can keep it for next turn, too. That is an option. He doesn't have to use it this turn. He can use his normal gun and hit these guys here. He's going to double move Bosk. Interesting. Okay. Bosk needs to make his regeneration roll. 1 goes away. Down to 4, or down to 2. I still think that you should have either shot or grenaded. Sniper's up next. I guess he is going to Hail Mary the grenade over on this troop, perhaps, next turn. I still think you should have shot. 1 hit with the sniper. Reroll. Need 2 hits. Gets 2 hits. I assume he was shooting at the sniper? Yeah, shooting at the sniper. Probably a good call. Takes that sniper out. I think it also takes him out of objective claiming distance at this point. Leia might still be within objective claiming distance. I'm not sure. But that brings us to turn 5. I mean turn 6. And this is going to be where pretty much everything comes down to. Like what happens here. You can't forget about this objective. Push at 2. And turning the tide at 2. Interesting. 2 heavy or 2 support, so it's going to be nobody gets advantage of that. So it looks as though Beez is going to get priority. Giving it to Bosk and to Veers. Bosk has... He does not have charge. Well, with Enrage he would have charge. Without it, though, he doesn't really have much options here, which is interesting. I guess they're talking it out as to what he can do. Yeah, so currently you would need whatever to happen in here. This is pretty much the game. No suppression removed from Veers, so Veers gets a singular thing. I guess he's going to Spotter. I suspect Veers is within range 1 of that, so that is all he needs to do. Oh yeah, because he has... Sorry. He only has 1 suppression, so he can still get his fire. Misses. Going to go with his reroll. Gets a singular hit, which is irrelevant. Oh, it does kill a guy. Interesting. Because a sharpshooter should only take it down to soft cover. But hey, if that's how they're going to roll it. Pulling Leia, depending on where she moves, that tells us a lot of things. So it looks like she's probably going to go back here to stay within contact of... within range 1. And it looks like that's exactly the case. So by moving Leia there, I believe that basically forces the game over. There's no possible way, as long as she's within range 1, which I believe she was, there's no possible way that Beez can win at this point. Still worth playing out. However, I think there's nothing left that can be done. Unless he snipes Leia, that is an option. From here, you would not be able to see her. I believe she is perfectly covered. If anything, Boss should have activated first, moved forward, and shot her where she stood. He really should have not just double moved him last turn. He should have moved and fired, or moved and grenaded, and then moved this turn and fired Leia back here. However, due to some miscalculations, I believe that the game is pretty much out of hand for Beez. I think it definitely goes to, yeah, because I don't see anyone who can get over there. Definitely will go to Keno as far as I'm aware. I suppose they're going to play it out just to play it out, but I believe the game is pretty much over. I'm still shocked he threw his trooper away up here. We could have kept him on the objective and never been bothered with the mine. Because scoring-wise, no matter what, yep, Orange Jesus came through. I'm not exactly sure where, because a lot of it was just good tactics versus bad tactics. But sometimes Orange Jesus does happen. I think they're pretty much talking the game out at this point. Looks like they are going to keep playing it. I am mildly surprised. I mean, the game is pretty much concession worthy at this point. Alright, 3 hits, one of them is a crit coming in. I would suspect he's going to get heavy cover, so only one is going to go through. Nothing, so loses a trooper. So he was deeming that he was out of line of sight. Okay. Hey, Jameek. You missed me getting super infuriated with World of Tanks earlier today. Alright, moving his trooper unit out. Likely going to fire at Bosk. Try and kill him. He has 2 wounds. 3 more and Bosk is dead. However, now this does set up a really good grenade option. He could effectively get all 3 of these troops with a singular grenade. I don't think he realizes that. However, again, Leia is still back here and still fine. Alright, so what is that? 2 hits? Do they surge? I believe they do surge. Yep, they surge to hit. So 2 going into Bosk. He needs to take 2 wounds. 1 is a pierce. Or take 2 saves, one of them being pierce. Whoa, work 12s. I can't blame you. Boss, good buddy, you need to take saves. After that, I would activate Bosk, move him, I don't know, throw the grenade like right here, hit everybody, And then Leia's still in control, though. Yeah, I don't see a way that you can win this game from Beez' side of the table at this point. My understanding is that Leia would control this point, and that's all that matters, because he just needs 2 points to call the victory. Because that would get him up to 6. He would only have 3, 5 if he controls both of these. So there's no possible way unless Leia is dead. And even then the sniper can come in. So yeah, I think that that is pretty much game. Alright, Bossk failing 2. So he's going to take 2 wounds and a suppression. He still is alive. But he ignores the suppression because he's enraged. So I guess you move forward and move forward and grenade. That's pretty much your best bet. Alright, trooper unit. Oh, he's not doing it. What are you doing? You're gonna let Bossk get shot up and killed. Okay. I'm kind of surprised about that. You still have a diaxis charge. Unless he is reading it differently where it's only during this round that he has diaxis charge. No, it says till the end of the game. So yeah, he can use that whenever he chooses. And he gets a speed 1 move out of it. Alright, gonna try and cause them to have no actions. Three hits come in. Should just be 1. Blanked it. Another trooper is dead. Trooper unit. Trying to roll their suppression away. They do not. So they will get no activations. And will panic. So they will be forced to run fully away to the closest board edge. Being in the center, you can go either one. Yeah, I believe that is correct. Alright, activating troopers. Green squad and blue squad are the 2 troopers left to go. Alright, looks like he's going to push forward with them as well. But then you have nobody back here. Likely gonna fire at the, I suppose, these troopers. Okay. Through hard cover, gonna need some crits. Or a whole lot of hits. Gets 3 hits in, which is what he needs to get 1 wound in. I am still surprised he has not activated Bossk and done the diaxis charge. Or the first turn, the first opening move of the game, he should have moved and shot Leia and killed her. That way she can't get this, and then make that hard push like he's doing now. And I'm also surprised that he moved the pink trooper over here to blow up the landmine instead of just contesting this. So sniper gets full activation. He's going to move forward. Likely going to shoot. Don't know what at. So he's also going to move behind cover to take the objective. Yeah, that is clearly range 1. So that is also a game-winning move there. So he has 2 game-winning moves that cannot be countered. The sniper back here. The sniper can see the other sniper, I think. Well, I'm in his head right now. I would say... Jesus. I would say no. There's no way you can see him. So the sniper is going to have targets either of the fleet troopers, and just the fleet troopers really, and only that one. Yep. Or alternatively, he can scale down the cliff to get within. Oh, and he loses the sniper because he tried to jump off the cliff. Man, Beez is making lots and lots of critical mistakes, I feel. Alright. Next up is another trooper unit. These guys with their 3 suppression. They will likely not be able to do much. Oh wow! They take away 2 suppression, able to do a singular activation. At this point, I say, you can see Bosk. Go for it. All he needs is one. Well, he'll have heavy cover. He'll be crit fishing. Going for green in the open? Sure. Nothing. Completely missed. Alright, I believe you have Bosk still to activate, as well as these blue troopers back here. Yeah, I think he's trying to show them the point of the game's pretty much over. They're just trying to score it up now as to what the points would be. And I believe no matter what, the sniper and Leia will still have this objective, meaning he will only have 5 points. Even if he wiped out the squad, will only have 5 points. Whereas Keno will have 6. Quite a few moves. This game really started off a little slow. Yep, as I called it too, 6-5. Was a good game. Both players made a couple mistakes that I think could have been done differently, but otherwise, still a good, well-fought game. Really a lot of stuff being hammered out in like a slugfest in the center, as we thought. So, looks like they're going to mess around with like potential what-ifs, and probably call it from there. So yep, looks like a victory for Keno. Sadly, a loss for the Empire. But good game by both players. Looked pretty good. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming out. I will catch you all probably tomorrow. Tune in then, and I will see you all later. Thanks everybody.